And there he is, Abe Lincoln. He's looking pretty good, don't you think?
My goodness, he sure is.
What do you think? Our 16th president. And his daughters Zoe and Madeline are also supposed to be coming. They're supposed to be accompanying him. He is there. This is Whitney Lester from Norfolk, Virginia. Not the real Abe Lincoln. I know you were fooled for a moment there, Paul.
Well, I was, but we also want to thank the good folks from Geico for their support for those who have served and sacrificed. They're one of the proud sponsors of today's parade as well.
And everybody, please welcome Tom Tompkins. He is from Virginia, who is here.
That's from Powhatan, Virginia. His war horse, Manny. Tompkins is a former U.S. Marine, served with the 26th Marine Regiment in Vietnam. And he survived the 77-day siege of Kim Son in 1968. Today he's representing the 2nd U.S. Cavalry during the Civil War. The 2nd Cav fought from the Battle of Bull Run to approximately to near every battle in between. And after the war ended, the 2nd U.S. Cav rode in the Grand Review of the U.S. Army on May 23rd, 1865, along with, you know.
Of course, and you know what? I love seeing some of these different shots. We've got the high school. We just saw the reenactors, too, the Federal Civil War reenactors.
Yeah, and these kids are from Chesapeake, Virginia, under the direction of Rob Carroll and Kate Freer. Please welcome the Great Bridge High School Marching Wildcats. The Great Bridge band program is under the 12th-time Virginia Honor Band, which includes a staggering 11 consecutive years. And many of the students performing in this group are children of members of the Navy stationed in Norfolk, Virginia.
And today they're performing what's called Main Street America, which seems appropriate, being that we here are on Constitution Avenue on this beautiful May Day here for the National Memorial Day Parade. And of course, everybody, we have to remember too, it's taken so much preparation to get to this point. You know, we were already talking to some of the organizers who said, we're going to start getting ready for next year. It is quite an operation to get 200 different groups. And you think about the thousands upon men and women who are here putting this organization together and getting folks also from all over the country to come out see this. And what a beautiful sight. Take a look at this shot here.
Hey, Leanne, are you still out there?
I am out here, Paul. I've actually got with me the only Air Force ace pilot from the Vietnam War, Brigadier General Steve Ritchie. Steve, what does this mean to you today, the Memorial Day Parade?
Well, without hundreds and thousands of people, civilians and military, doing their job day in and day out around the world, first of all, I wouldn't be a fighter ace and I probably wouldn't be alive. Those of us who survived combat when we shouldn't have, and so many of our friends and colleagues who didn't survive, every single day is a plus. It's a day the others never had.
Can you tell us, or actually talk to the camera and tell the troops that are deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan and all over the world right now how you feel about them?
Well, once again, I'm so grateful to be alive and healthy in the USA, and so thankful that so many of you, including my son, who's an Air Force PJ, are stationed around the world serving and carrying on the fight for freedom. There's nothing more important.
Thank you, General. We appreciate you being here with us today. Back to you guys.
Oh, that's great.
Leanne, thank you so much. What a great story, too, to hear from him. There it is, back from the Vietnam era. I mean, when you think about all that time, I mean, just the stories. We were talking to him earlier. Everybody here really has so many amazing stories. And it's so important, I think, also, that we're honoring this generation because they're fading out. I mean, you look at how many veterans there are, you know, only one from World War I. The World War II generation is fading out. My father, as you know, was a POW in World War II. He was captured by the Nazis, saved by U.S. forces. That's why I love America.
Oh, that's great.
But that generation is fading out, and it's important to keep those stories alive and pay tribute to those men and women.
That's right. Rita, here we've got the R.E. Lee Camp number 726 Sons of Confederate Veterans from Alexandria, Virginia. And they're joined by the Frank Stringfellow Camp 822 SCV, the Maryland Division Color Guard. SCV, Gary's Brigade, and Captain Ed Creasy, who is riding Ranger with fellow riders from Charlottesville, Virginia. The R. Lee Camp of the Sons of Confederate Veterans has marched in the National Memorial Day Parade since its founding in 2005. And they're proud to be joined by their compatriots as they march to remember the valor of the Confederate soldier, sailor, and their families.
Love those shots and love those outfits. And there, of course, you can see the Sons of the Confederate Veterans from Maryland. The women also getting into the act too with those great outfits. And those folks, you know, it is so much fun to watch those reenactments. And I just think it is such a thrill, especially when you see the family members of the young and old going out there to see them and pay tribute. It really makes you remember some of those incredible stories and the incredible wars that were fought for freedom on this country.
That's right. What a great way to relive history, to see it reenacted in front of you.
And those guys are dedicated. I mean, I know some folks who go out every weekend or, 2 or 3 weekends a month and they have regular jobs, but they are very determined to make sure that we keep American history alive so we can all appreciate it and also always remember it.
That's right.
And coming soon after them, we're going to see the Bowbells High School Band. They are from North Dakota, and they are traveling all the way from North Dakota. They're coming from the Bowbells High School. They are marching band. The band went on hiatus in the late 1980s and was only reactivated just 2 years ago. Plenty of time to get ready for it today. And the students have made great strides to rebuild a strong marching program. They're playing under the Hosts of Freedom under the direction of Leif Halverson.
That's a bit of a trek all the way from North Dakota.
It sure
We're
is.
glad
But they're
came.
probably glad. The weather's probably a little nicer here today.
Well, I hope they have a great trip in their nation's capital. We'd like to take a moment and thank all of the young Marines for participating in today's parade, including the nation's capital Young Marines from Washington, D.C., and the Chicago Young Marines from Chicago.
And we're seeing a shot of Teddy Roosevelt right there, who's
He's
looking
here today.
pretty good. You know what? And I think he looks really good for his age. What do you think?
I agree.
This is really terrific. We have the 26th President of the United States, Teddy Roosevelt, a multifaceted man who held many elected office positions and established himself, of course, as a historian and also a naturalist. And much of many of the things we've achieved today, each and every American can really be thankful very much for his heart, his personality, and everything that he has done for this country.
That's right. Rita, we have the Casino High School Patriot Marching Band from Warren, Michigan, under the direction of Jeffrey Cutter. The band was founded in 1962, and their school colors are red, white, and blue. How appropriate on a day like today. In addition to their school song was based on the George M. Cohen song, Yankee Doodle Dandy. And the uniforms are based on the Revolutionary War Minuteman uniforms. They were selected by the Honorable James R. Fouts, Mayor of the City of Warren, Michigan, to perform in today's parade as the official representatives of that city.
And I love it because talking to even some of the folks here, they are from all over the country. So it's only fitting that the members of this parade come from all over the country and really all over the world. And this is a familiar sight here, Paul, the Buffalo Soldiers. This is terrific. These are the members of the 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry Association of Buffalo Soldiers, Greater Washington, D.C. chapter. And of course, beginning in 1866, the Buffalo Soldiers fought during the Indian Wars, chased Billy the Kid and Geronimo, served in the Spanish-American War and the Philippine Insurrection, chased Pancho Villa, fought in Korea and Vietnam, and are currently serving in Iraq. And the Buffalo Soldiers won 4 medals of honor during the Spanish-American War and the famous charge of San Juan Hill with none other than Teddy Roosevelt. Today they're riding in vehicles from the Washington area collector of military vehicles, who we'd also like to thank for transporting so many of today's groups.
And please welcome the Mounted Unit of Maryland Buffalo Soldiers. The Horse Cavalry is an organization comprised of 20 men and women whose mission and vision is to celebrate, showcase, and educate the public about the rich legacy that our forefathers contributed to the United States. Their organization looks back at a dedicated group of people whose efforts over 100 years also shaped our country.
And Leanne is not too far from where these Rough Riders are. Leanne, who do you have with you now?
I actually have the president of the USO, Sloan Gibson. Sloan, I've done some USO tours in my lifetime. Such an important part to bring entertainment and love from home for the troops. Tell us about your mission.
Well, the USO exists to lift the spirits of our troops and their families all over the world. And today's a really special day for the USO. We bear witness to the service and sacrifice, the everyday service and sacrifice of our troops all over the world. But we also play a little known but very special role on Memorial Day. The USO operates 2 USO centers at Dover. And USO staff and volunteers are there to support every single dignified transfer as our troops come home for the very last time. And it's a very somber, solemn mission that we perform, but a very important part of what we do. So not only are we there for the very happy times when we bring people like you to entertain our troops overseas, but we're also there for some of the other times for our troops and their families.
Anything you'd like to say to our troops that are deployed right now?
Well, a special shout out to all of the men and women serving in forward deployed areas. God bless you, God keep you safe. We love you and we appreciate everything you do for America.
Thank you, Sloan. We appreciate the USO.